Hey, well, we've actually got some relatively good weather for a change. I'm going out to Kirkham Priory. My mate Oliver, he was talking yesterday about doing an extended jaunt from Kirkham Priory over 2 or 3 days to see how far we could get. And so I'm going out for a bit of a recce to see if I can actually launch from there, because I want to try out this kayak and if possible, do a stealthy overnighter. So do a bit of a wild camp somewhere. Just about to set off. Welcome to Camping and Kayaking with Carl. Well, I'm on the water, on the River Derwent. I've got everything set up. I think this barrel's going to work as a good footrest. I've only inflated this kayak to 7.5 psi, and it's still hard as rock. So, time to set off. I have to say, I think Oliver's right. It is lovely down here on the Derwent. And even though the river will be flowing a little bit faster at the moment, because we've had a lot of rain, the current isn't massively strong. But yeah, it is absolutely lovely. Right, better get paddling. Just pulled over, and one of the handy things about reeds is you can use them to lash yourself to the carry handle, even though it is quite reedy around here, so there's no chance of getting out here, but at least it stops me drifting with the current back downstream and back the way I came. So I was just looking, and I started here at Kirkham Abbey, and I am currently around about here at Cranbeck, and according to the e-tracks I have done about 1.5 miles in just under an hour, and I've only been taking it steady, and yeah, I guess it is because I'm quite heavily laden as well. I'm just pootling along. I'm still travelling faster than I was that day when I was trying to go against the current on the Ouse. And anyway, so the point is, if I'm around here at Cranbeck, I was thinking it might be quite good to go to these islands here. They're called Cherry Islands, and I wondered if that might be an interesting place to camp. Might be able to actually get the kayak on shore there. I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably about 2 miles away. Bearing in mind I haven't actually eaten yet. I've had breakfast, but I haven't had anything for lunch or anything since then, so I might just grab something out of the barrel, something snacky, just to tide me over. Okay, onwards, Geronimo! approximately a mile or so, and I found a nice little jetty. So I've just kind of pulled in. It's in like a little secluded inlet. So I've just pulled in here. The train track's over there, so it's not an ideal place to sort of like stop in terms of staying overnight, but I am going to just stop here, get the barrel out because all my food and my little stove's in there, and I'm just going to grab something to eat and before I go onwards. And apologies for the overhead plane, how inconvenient. What I will say just before I do move on is these paddle leashes are a great idea, because if you need somewhere to quickly tie your boat, some way of quickly tying your boat so it doesn't actually come loose, you can always use your paddle leash. And then before it goes anywhere, it would also have to pull the paddle across this thing too. So it's just a nice quick way of securing your boat while you get out. So bearing in mind this is the first time I've done this, I'm wondering whether it might be worthwhile putting the barrel, because that's heavier than the black dry bag there. I'm wondering whether it might be worthwhile swapping those over. Might try that while I've stopped, while I'm after I've made something to eat. Nice little snack on this riverbank, and I have to say I didn't make it look anywhere near as easy as any of the kind of bushcrafters do and the camping kayakers do on the YouTube channels that I've been watching. Never mind, not to worry, got to start somewhere, right? And had a good chat with a chap who was passing with 3 spaniels, and he was talking about what was further downstream, or upstream in this case. Not quite sure that a wild camp might be on the cards. I think Oliver's kind of got his cards mixed as well, because he was on about doing a trip from where I've come from, Kirkham Priory, all the way to Kirby Moorside, he said. But unless there's another river, because this doesn't actually go to Kirby Moorside, it stops at it starts in Hackness. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what he means there. Maybe he means Hackness, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to paddle upstream a bit further and see what it's like. Places along here where you might be able to climb out, drag the kayak into the undergrowth and do a bit of an all-nighter. Although I suspect it might be noisy in the morning. Just past a little suspension footbridge, and I've just realised that I've not got any footage of that because the action cam battery has died. and I had a look to see if I could get the batteries out of the barrel, out of the drum, and I just felt it was a bit too risky. However, on the plus side, I have to say this thing is incredibly sturdy. I mean, you can move around in it unlike you can with any of the other inflatables, so I can see why people like the SUP boards, because they're just so solid. And I've only inflated this to 7.5 psi, and you can go to 15 to 18. The recommended is 15 to 18. Anyway, I've just noticed the wind is blowing me across a bit, so I'm going to stop and get back to paddling. Behind me you can see the suspension bridge that I missed earlier. I've made a bit of an executive decision. I'm around 4 hours in, and yes, I could have paddled further. I don't feel as though I'm going to find somewhere to be able to wild camp, and so I'm actually heading back at this moment in time and just veering off course. Thankfully the current is with me, so I should make good time back. I got as far as Cherry Islands, which was good. I'm just flowing at the moment with the current, as you can see. So I'm going to pick it back up again. See you in a bit. Just finished doing my trip, around about 8 miles. It's the first outing in the Ryber 420 drop stitch inflatable kayak. It's great, it tracks through the water fabulously. It's carried all my kit for overnight camping, and there's a lot of gear there. It glides nicely. It does get caught by the wind, I did notice that. And the only thing that I'm in fact struggling with at the moment, and it might be more of a paddle problem than an issue with the kayak, but because the sides are higher, you end up splashing more water into the kayak itself. I'm going to get this deflated, get home, pizza, put my feet up. So thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed this. It wasn't quite what I expected, but I've had fun, and I've enjoyed myself. Alright, I'll see you soon. Cheerio!